So the next topic is the techniques for Turing machine construction. Okay, so this can be asked as a short notes question, in which case you have to write little bit, because we'll study 4 techniques now. You can write little about each technique. Very easy to understand, and you can write. Or in this, one of the techniques is subroutine. So they might ask you a problem on that subroutine, and the same problem which I'll explain now, usually the same thing is asked. So please listen to me carefully about that one problem, design using the subroutines. Okay. So as I said, 4 methods we'll learn. That is Turing machine with stationary head, using the storage in the state. Okay, second method for construction, multiple track Turing machines and use of subroutines. Now let us see one by one. So Turing machine with stationary head. So far, when you saw a Turing machine, what did you see? You have a tape, correct? And you have cells, and there is a read and write head. And so far, what we did was, on reading a symbol, right? It may keep the symbol as it is, or it might change the symbol, one thing. And also there was a movement, isn't it? So delta of, if you are in some state Q0, let us say on a symbol A, all that we learned till now was, I may or may not change this state. I may keep it as Q0, or I may change the state. I may or may not change the symbol. In this case, I have chosen. And then this third parameter was your direction. So we had that direction as either right or left. Okay. So in this, what we are trying to talk about is stationary head, which means I don't want to move left or right. If I want, I want to change the state. If I want to change the symbol also. But I don't want to move towards right or left. Okay. So how do I do that? In basic Turing machine moves, that is not there, isn't it? So what we will do is very simple. Now, if I say you cannot move left or right, you have to stay in a place. But the choice given to you is, the action should be that, but you do not have a choice of not moving. I'll repeat it if I have confused you. In the Turing machine moves, it's compulsory to move right or left, right? The moves are either right or left. But now I told you, don't move. Now I'm telling you, stay in place, right? S is stay in place. So what do I do? If I'm in this place, I can go to right and come back by one position left. That means you haven't moved, isn't it? I'll repeat again, 2 options. If I start here, I should be here after this also. So far, D had to be L or R. I didn't have an option for S. So I will simulate this S using RL or LR. That means I will move to right and come back to left, or I'll move to left and come back to right to denote this stationary head. Okay. So that's one technique for Turing machine construction. Next, let us move on to storage and state. So far, the states you have seen are Q0, Q1, Q2 like this, right? If you remember the first module in Mealy machine and Moore machine, etc., we had written remembering the state, means remembering what we have seen. So if you come across a problem where you have to store the symbol as well along with the state, okay? So of course we can do it. How we can do it is, instead of writing the state as Q0, Q1, etc., we will write the state as Q0 on 0 or Q1 on B, something like this, C, etc. The meaning of this is, you were in Q0 and now you have seen 0. The meaning of this state is, let us say you were in Q1 and on seeing C, you have moved on to Q1, C. Okay. So I hope this is clear. This is how we are going to design or use this as a technique for designing a Turing machine. Now let us see one example which is there in your textbook. All right. So in textbook he says, see, construct a Turing machine that accepts 0, 1 star or 1, 0 star. What is 0, 1 star or 1, 0 star? If I say 0, 1 star, just 0 should be accepted, correct? No, because this is one star, one may or may not be there. Or if a 0 is there, it should be followed, it can be followed by any number of ones. So these should be accepted. Or you can see 1 0 star. So just one should be accepted, or if it's 1 followed by any number of zeros should also be accepted. And if you have 0 and then 1, and at any point of time if you get a 0, then it should not be accepted. Similarly, you got a 1 and somewhere if you repeat 1, because you see 0 cannot repeat and 1 cannot repeat in this case. So this should be rejected. Okay, so we have to construct a Turing machine which will remember, okay, what I have seen. That is, if I've seen 0, if I've seen a blank, if I've seen a 1, etc., it's got to remember what we have seen. And then it has to make sure that this symbol does not appear in the input afterwards. So if I've seen 0, I have to make sure that 0 doesn't appear. Similarly, if I have seen 1, I should make sure that 1 will not appear after this. Okay. So how do I do this? Now 2 states are enough for this. Okay. So you can see we require only 2 states. But the 3 tape symbols over here, in tape what I can see is a blank, because before any input and after any input blanks are there. We have assumed, we have studied the entire Turing machine with that assumption, isn't it? So your tape symbols are 0, 1 as well as blank. Okay, 0, 1 as well as blank. So how will I write state? What are the possible states for me in this case? The possible states, I said we need only 2 states, right? 2 states in the sense, it along with whatever it has seen, if I constitute a state, it will be increased. I'll tell you what I mean. So we are solving 2 problems, 0, 1 star or 1, 0 star. Let us say I need only Q0 and Q1. Along with, I have to also remember what data I have seen. Okay. So since 3 symbols are there, I'll use Q0 on B, Q1 on B. This is one state. This is one state. Similarly, Q0 on 0. This is one state, and Q0 on 1 is another state. Similarly, Q1 on 0. I have written this. No, Q0 on B, Q0 on 0, and Q0 on 1. Q0 on 1. Similarly, Q1 on B, Q1 on 0, and Q1 on 1. So you can see here Q0 and Q1 with 0, 1 and blank. So total possibilities are 6. Whether we use all the 6 or not, we'll see how when we solve the problems. Okay. So you can see the input is 0 and 1, that is sigma, and tau is 0, 1 and blank. Transitions we are going to design now. Okay. And final states are, here we have written Q0 on B and Q1 on B. Why did we write Q0 on B or Q1 on B is because after the input is over, when you get the blank symbol, okay, when you see the blank symbol, that is when we accept. That's why both acceptance states are on blank. Okay. I hope this is clear. Now let us design it. All right. Now let us design it. So the design says in the initial state, okay, M is Q0 and has B in its data portion. That is, let me write a few possible strings that I have to accept. Okay. So for example, I have to accept 0 or I have to accept 1. Similarly, I have to accept 0, 1, 1 or 1, 0, 0. Okay. So all of these will be preceded and followed by a blank symbol, right? All of these will be preceded. Just a minute. Sir, class the one. So this should be preceded and followed by a symbol. Okay. All right. So as in this, we have decided that initially we'll take the symbol as Q naught and blank. This is my initial state. Okay, this is my initial state. After this, you will see first symbol. For example, first symbol can be 0 or first symbol can be 1. Correct? So let me write two transitions on 0 and on 1. So obviously, I'll make a state change. I'll say Q1 and I have seen 0. Okay. And here I'll say Q1 and I have seen 1. We'll make the state change here. So if you see this and this, only this followed by blank also should be accepted, isn't it? I hope this is clear because we said 0, 1 star or 1, 0 star. So second one is not compulsory. So just a 0, but if it is just a 0, it will be followed by a blank, correct? So from Q1 on 0, if I get a blank, I should go to an accepting state. Let me call it as Q1 blank. Okay. Let me call it as Q1 blank and make it as a final state. I hope this is clear why I made this as a final state, because this should be accepted, blank after 0. Okay. Similarly, if you are in this state, Q1 on 1, again, if you get a blank, you should accept it. So let us say you are in Q1 and now you saw a blank. So you should accept this. Okay. You should accept this. So I wrote this. So we have written the logic for this string as well as this string. Now let us see what to do about these. Okay. Let us see what to do about this. So I got a 0. After 0, if I get a 1, what to do? It should be accepted, isn't it? Okay. So after 0, I'm talking about this. I got a 0 and after this 0, I get a 1. So let us say I was at Q1, 1. It's already there. So I'll change the state to Q0, 1 because I haven't used it. Okay. You see here, when I wrote 6 states, isn't it? So Q naught was there. So this I wrote it as Q1 on 0 and Q1 on 1. And this I took as Q1 on B. So I haven't used Q naught on 0 and Q naught on 1. So that's why when I am in Q1 on 0, if I get a 1, I will write it as a Q naught on 1. So I am talking about this. You got 0 and then you got 1, 1. So you came here. What about next? You get any number of ones after that, you should stay in this itself. So 0, then you get any number of ones, you remain here. And once you get a blank, you come back to acceptance state. Okay. This diagram is not there in any textbook. So just, I hope you are listening carefully. All right. Similarly, about this 1, 0 star. On getting 1, I came here, right? And if I got a blank, I went to the acceptance state. So I handled this. Now, after 1, if I get a 0, then I will go to Q naught, 0. Why I have written Q naught, 0 is because I have not used it. I hope you understood. We took 2 states here and we have chosen 6 of them, isn't it? So here I have used Q1 on 0 and Q1 on 1. So I hadn't used these. That's why I'm using them. So on getting a 0, I'll come here. So after that, you get any number of zeros, you'll remain there, isn't it? After 1, you get any number of zeros, you'll remain there. And after that, if I get a blank, obviously I should go to a acceptance state. Okay. So this is the design that we have done by keeping storage. Of course, this looks more like a DFSM. So how will we write the transition for Turing machine? So what symbol I have seen? Do I change the symbol? No. Where do I move? Right. Correct. So in every case, it's like that. I don't change anything. I'm just moving right. Okay. So Everywhere we are just reading and moving to accept, isn't it? Or reject. For example, if I have this should be rejected, right? 0, 1, 0. So you see you get 0 initially. So 0 when you get, you move to this state. After 0, you got a 1, right? So once you get 1, you move to this state. And then you get a 0, right? And I have written no transition on 0 for this. So that means it will remain in this state and it will never come to final state. So this is going to be rejected. Okay. So everywhere we don't replace anything. So we just keep it as it is and move towards right. Right. So you can write everywhere same thing. This is 1, 1, 5. Okay. So this is your final Turing machine design transition. For the same thing, whatever I explained, the steps are given in generic terms over here. Okay. So for example, let us say the first symbol is A. A means it can be either 0 or 1. Right. So you make the change to that Q1 comma A. So Q1 comma 0 or Q1 comma 1. If the next symbol is blank, then we go to an accepting state, Q1 on B. So you can see here, if I get a blank from here or if I get a blank from here, I have gone to accepting state called as Q1 on B, correct? Then next, if the next symbol is A. Now A is depending on previous symbol. For example, if I had used previously as 0 and next symbol is 1, so that's why they have written if A is 1, A bar is 1. If A bar is 0, A is 1, A bar is 1, A is 0. That means whatever you hadn't seen, if you seen that. Okay. Then only we are going to make a state change. If you see A again, we make no change. Means when you saw 0, again if you see 0, we don't make any changes. On seeing 1, if you see again 1, we have not written any transition for that. So it will not be accepted. So this is generic term. This is how we actually do the design. Okay. So far we have seen two methods. The third method is multiple track Turing machine. So instead of having, you had just one track, no, where you had cells like this in Turing machine so far. Instead of this, you will have in the same tape multiple tracks. This is track 1, this is track 2, and similarly this is track K. So what is the difference of this and where it is used? Where it is used, we'll see today in the 11:15 class, where we'll see variants of Turing machines. Okay. Now we are seeing techniques. So at 11:15 class, we'll see the variants of Turing machines. There you will understand the application of this multiple track Turing machine. Just remember, in one tape you have multiple tracks. So obviously symbols will be there here also, here also, here also, here also, isn't it? States also will be there everywhere. So symbols now, tape symbol will be written as, tau K. Means this K, if it's 1, then we are talking about the symbols in track 1. If K is 2, we are talking about symbols in track 2. If K is K, then we are talking about the symbols in track K. Okay. Now the last technique for construction is using the subroutines. All right, using the subroutines. Subroutines is similar to your functions that you use in C. The example they have taken for using, when do we use subroutines basically? So subroutines are used when you do something repeatedly, isn't it? Right? You use subroutine if some action has to be repeated. Right? Again and again and again. That's why they have taken the example of multiplication here. For example, in tape, they are going to store, let us say something like this. Something like this. So this they are taking it as M and this they are taking it as N. The result they are going to store over here. Okay. The result they are going to store over here. So the result will be 6 zeros, isn't it? So for 1 0 over here, you are going to repeat this entire thing over here. Similarly, for next 0 also you are going to, or vice versa. For 1 0 here, you are going to write 2 zeros. For the next 0, you are going to write 2 more zeros. For the next 0, you are going to write 2 more zeros. Okay. So the logic that is used using the subroutine. I mean, did you understand where repetition happens? For 1 0, you wrote 2. You came back. Again for the second 0, you wrote 2. Again for the third 0, you wrote 2. So this is repetition, isn't it? So checking how many are there in n and going and copying them, right? So what we are going to do is, you use the subroutine to do this. For each 0 here, copying is there, no? 2 zeros over here. So that copying, for each 0, 2 zeros being copied over there, that for that copying we are going to use the subroutine. Okay. So let us take one example and see. Here the method is explained how we are going to do this. So I'll explain it to you with one small example. Okay, the logic we are going to apply, and then we'll take the transition table and actually trace what happens. Let us say m is 3 and n is 2. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, if m is 3 and n is 2. We'll start with, let us say we'll start. So m is this, n is this. Let's start with the initial state being somewhere. Let us say initial state be q0. What I'm going to do is, okay, this 0 we already seen. So we are going to make this 0 as a blank. Alright. After making this as a blank, I'm going to move forward till I get this one, till I get this 0. Okay. And this 0, because I saw this, I don't know how many zeros are there here, isn't it? So what I'll do is I'll convert it into some other number just to remember that I have seen a 0. Okay. And I'll come here, copy it. Okay. Then again I come back, and this 0 I'm going to make it as 2, and again come back and copy it. Okay. Once I copy it, I'm going to move all the way here, again make this as blank. Okay. And when I'm moving backwards, these 2's are again converted into zeros. Okay. I'll repeat again. We'll start with this. We are using a separator for m and n, which is 1. I'll see this 1 0. I'm going to convert this into blank. Then I'll move here. After this 1, I get this 0, isn't it? So I'll make this as 2. Just to remember that I have seen this. I have copied it over here. I'll come back. I'll make this again as 2 and go back and copy it. After copying it, when I'm coming back, I'm going to put these 2's as 0 again. Okay. And come all the way here. And this I'll make it as blank. So in the forward direction, this 0 is made as 2 and I copy 1 0. And again this I'll make it as 2 and I'll copy 1 0. Again on the way back, I'm going to make these as zeros. And now I have one more 0. Okay. So this 0 will be made as blank. And I'll again make this as 2. Copy that. Make this as 2. Copy that and come back. Okay. And when I come back, I'll make this as 0 and come back. But here no more zeros are there. Since no more zeros are there, I am also going to make these as all blanks so that only result remains. That is the logic we are going to use. Okay. So we have a transition table over here ready. This is for copy. This is a subroutine that we use for copy. This is like your main program. Okay. So the same example I have taken